Do you feel like there is a difference between the other courts and family court?
So that's a very interesting question that you ask, because I've talked with different people running for different court positions and so on, judges and stuff like that. And I think that there is a difference from what I've seen and from what I've heard, talking with these people, that there's a difference as far as in criminal courts versus family courts. It seems like there's more an idea that, number one, you get due process, right? You don't have due process in a family court. It just doesn't exist. You have constitutional protections. You don't have constitutional protections in the family court. And you can always appeal something. And I guess maybe you can appeal it with the family court, but the reality is that when you appeal something, they're going to say, well, we can't overrule the judge's discretion. It's nonsense. The judge is, that in itself is a contradiction, because some judges, they pretend to have discretion, and then when you confront them on it, they say, well, I had to do it. I had no discretion. Well, what is it? Do you have discretion or don't you? So, but from what I can see with the people that I've talked with, that I've known, because I've tried to go and interview these people, I think that there's a good difference as far as the criminal courts and some of the other courts. There seems to be a greater application of law and a greater respect toward law. I've talked with people that are on the Texas State Supreme Court that I respect, and I've mentioned some of these things. They are aware of what's going on in the family courts. What our remedy is, I don't know. Because at this point right now, it is as if the Texas Family Law Foundation, or the Texas Anti-Family Law Foundation, as I call them, that they are lobbyists, and they'll be right up to say it. But it's as if they have legislators in their back pocket. That when you try to fix things, they will either have legislators that will back them up. They become the expert testifiers on behalf of a bill. And that they are working for lobbyists. They're lobbyists working for the lawyers. I have this thing from the last session that says, bills that we killed for you. Who is the you? It's the divorce attorneys. It's the family law attorneys. As a lobbyist, you represent your industry. You represent the financial interests of the people that have hired you. And they're not representing the children. The idea of the best interest of the children, that's a farce. They make this stuff up. Anything can be in the best interest of the child. Nobody knows what that means. But they're representing the divorce attorneys. Anyway, so I think I got a little bit off track there.
No, that's okay. That's what I wanted you to say.
Yeah,
I mean, they basically operate completely different.
No, there is no law there.
Yeah.
It's just, the family law courts are horrendous. And this is what I think, when you talk about court watchers, you have to go in and see this stuff. I've watched this stuff take place. I'll tell you one instance that happened. That somebody called me, well, Jeff, would you come and watch? So I did. And the interesting thing was, it was him versus his ex-wife. His ex-wife sent me a friend request because I was talking about this stuff on Facebook. I never accepted her request, but I started messaging back and forth. And I have 21 pages of a transcript now. And I'm like, this is crazy. And I gave it to him. He's trying to represent himself because he doesn't have the money to do it. And I think he gave it to the opposing attorney, and she realized, oh, maybe my client is lying to me. But the judge, nevertheless, because of his bias, would automatically side with her. Because, and I hate to say this is not just a gender issue, but I know myself, when I see a woman crying, it touches my heart. There's something within a man that wants to protect the woman, right? If it's your daughter crying, what can I do to help? And you say the same thing about your son, but there's something for a man that wants to say, I want to protect the woman, the female, the daughter, whatever. And I think that, I hate to say this, but there are some people that I think know how to use that to their advantage in court. And perjury, if they started to punish perjury, maybe that would happen less frequently. But the reality is, in family court, you can commit perjury. There's never a punishment. And if you're successful, you get a benefit. Perjury is incentivized in family court. They don't ever punish it. And you can show it to them, and then they'll sneer at you and everything else. It does not make a difference. That's how bad these courts are. And that's why I have absolutely no confidence in the family courts. The other courts, that's a different story. I've not really been in them. Family courts, they are horrible. They are horrendous. I have, no, like I said, and it's a shame because I want to believe in the court system. I'm a person who wants to believe in the rule of law. I'm a person who wants to believe that justice is going to be done. But I can't do it because I've seen it with my own eyes repeatedly. And I think some of these judges actually should be convicted of criminal activities. But, you know, you file a complaint with the State Commission on Judicial Conduct, and we have found absolutely nothing that proves your case. Well, can you requisition the video? I would be glad to show you. I volunteered to go down there. I drove down there. I'm here, outside of your place. No, we're not going to talk to you. I can give everything. But they have a decision. They want to. And I heard one attorney put it like this. You know, it's the judges that are the thin black line of society. If we didn't have the judicial system, our society would fall apart. And I said, then can't you at least have an integrity within the system? You know, the idea that we have this thin black line that nobody can trust in. And I'm not the only one who feels that way. There are people that I look up to because of their integrity and everything else. And I've been told this repeatedly. We cannot trust the judiciary. That's our third branch of government. And I won't talk about the other branches. I mean, we have our difficulties with them. But I have absolutely no confidence. And when I say no confidence, I mean zero confidence in the judiciary, in family courts.